Hello, how are you doing? So I wanted to make this video about a kind of an art project that I was working on. This is something I like to do in my spare time. Basically, I think it is very important to find a way to escape the 9 to 5 craziness, and just to find something that well, for me, I will speak for myself, that I enjoy doing, and just, find some time to relax. And what I've noticed, that when I start drawing or do other types of things like working with my plants, like you see in my other videos, I feel this sense of, like I'm not thinking about anything, none of my problems exist. I just enjoy being in the moment and see what creation comes, what kind of thing will now appear in my reality, something that I have not thought about. You see, I don't think about what colors I use to make this image, it just comes to you. And I think that is the way creativity works. And it's so important just to find something that you enjoy doing. So, is there something in your life that is holding you back from starting that project? Just do it, you know? Forget about working all the time and making money. That's like seems to be the only main focus nowadays. I noticed that I fall in that trap and only thinking about the next thing I need to do. And what I found out in all these years? It's never finished. You have always something to do. But with art, there is really no destination, there is no end goal. You see, I stopped this image at a certain point just because I don't no longer want to continue. But you can go over with these pencils over and over again. See, I use markers, and then in a short, in a few moments, you will see that I will start using some charcoal, and that will leave another color on the marker, so you can continue go over this thing over and over again to make it even more perfect. But anyway, let me talk about these images. The idea was to what is the difference between then and now. This is how I see the people nowadays. They don't really care about that much about what they wear. Of course, there is some type of clothing style that people have, but back in the days in the 50s, people were always in suits, wearing nice clothes, dressing so basically, maybe you can say basic, but very differently from nowadays. And even the whole situation, it has changed so much. But this was basically just a drawing that I just wanted to color in. And mind you, I know that I'm not the best person making art, but that is the whole point of me doing this, and even sharing it on YouTube. It is not to pretend that I'm some kind of extremely talented artist and I'm showing you all these skills, on how to make the perfect painting. This is not a channel about that. This is basically me spending some time with you and hopefully entertain you in the meantime. This channel is not about showing you different art techniques and how to use them to make a beautiful painting. It is just about relaxation and hopefully remind you that it is so important to just take some time off and do the things you really like. Because I like drawing so much. This is something I used to do when I was growing up every single day. I was drawing every day. I liked it, but somehow I just forgot because I was so caught up in my work and getting things done, and basically falling victim to the 9 to 5 trap, which I'm now trying to get out of by taking the time to appreciate what art can be. And art for me is, I don't want to exploit this. I don't want to think about it anything less
Something
than you do that just to pass the time and to, in the end, enjoy what you've made, because I really like the end result of this painting. Well, basically, it's more like a drawing. Anyway, I really do like the end result. Anyway, you know the other thing that I noticed? Whenever I start to draw or to do anything that, like maybe even working with the plants or whatever, I feel this sense of, like your mind just stops chatting. There is like an overwhelming sense of peace that you don't have to think about your problems. You can just sit back and just focus on this moment, because this is exactly what drawing pushes you to do, or any other activity. It just pushes you to be exactly right here and now and to deal with this current problem. It's not really a problem, it's more like a way to occupy your mind and not to think too much. And that is my problem, if I am busy with work or if I don't do anything in particular, my mind goes on and off about all different subjects that are absolutely not helpful at all. You know, I cannot solve the problem by thinking about it over and over and over again. So I found that the best way to deal with this is just to occupy my mind with making some art or doing other projects, and to have no end result to become the best drawer. Thank you for watching, and subscribe if you want to. But of course you don't have to, because I'm done with things needing to be a certain way.